Yes?
Are you certain Corypheus is using the power of the Blight to make himself immortal?
Perhaps you forget. I was in Ferelden during the Fifth Blight. I have seen a true archdemon rage. How Corypheus gained the power to send his soul into blighted bodies, that is the real question.
Will answering that question let us destroy Corypheus for good?
Perhaps. I would suggest first dealing with the well. If Corypheus obtains it, any chance of success could be lost.
I want to discuss the well again.
Oh, I see. An opportunity to use the well may not even arise. I understand this. All I meant to suggest is that, if it does, I be the one to do so. I am willing to accept the consequences.
I don't want you to be so eager for this unknown power you ignore its dangers, Morrigan.
I'm not a child grasping after a toy. I understand the risk of what I seek. Let us turn our attention to hunting your enemies, shall we? Discussion of the well can wait.
What's this?
I believe we are in the presence of the elven goddess Ondrul, Lady of the Hunt. 'Tis said the Dalish invoke her before a chase, especially if they happen to be stalking humans.
Humans clash with elves all the time. There's blood on both sides.
I do not favor either. One hears things in an Orlesian court. Many Orlesian commanders consider skirmishes against the Dalish excellent sport. Time to proceed to the next ritual, I should think.
Is complete.
We are close. There is but one more path to follow.
So can we go? Now?
Come, let us see if the doors have opened. Will you abandon these rituals, Inquisitor? Think carefully. There is no return once we leap after the Templars. Tis not what I expected. What was this chamber used for?
We're being watched.
Vernavis, you are unlike the other invaders. You stumble down our paths alongside Elven, or at least those having our features. You bear the mark of magic, which is familiar. How has this come to pass? What is your connection to those who first disturbed our slumber?
They are my enemies, as well as yours.
I am called Abelas. We are sentinels, tasked with standing against those who trespass on sacred ground. We wake only to fight, to preserve this place. Our numbers diminish with each invasion. I know what you seek. Like all who have come before you, you wish to drink from the Vira Belasan.
The place of the Way of Sorrows. He speaks of the well.
It is not for you. It is not for any of you.
So you're elves from ancient times? Before the Tevinter Imperium destroyed Arlathan?
The Shemlin did not destroy Arlathan. We Elven warred upon ourselves. By the time the doors to this sanctuary closed, our time was over.
Wait, that's not right. What are you saying?
You would not know truth. Shemlin history is as short as the pool of your years.
What did the Imperium do then? Are you saying it wasn't a war?
The war of carrion feasting upon a corpse, yes. We awaken only when called, and each time find the world more foreign than before. It is meaningless. We endure. The Vira Belasan must be preserved.
What is this Vira Belasan exactly?
It is a path, one walked only by those who toiled in Mithal's favor.
He speaks of priests, perhaps.
More than that, you need not know.
We did not come here to fight you, nor to steal from your temple.
I believe you. Trespassers you are, but you have followed rites of petition. You have shown respect to Mithal. If these others are enemies of yours, we will aid you in destroying them. When this is done, you shall be permitted to depart. And never return.
I'll admit the idea of fighting the last of their kind does not thrill me.
Consider carefully. You must stop Corypheus, yes, but you may also need the well for your own.
I refuse.
As you wish. Our duty is clear. The Vira Belasan shall not be usurped, even if I must destroy it. Masal Dinan.
No!
Before my countrymen came along. Could that be true? I can hardly believe it.
How old could they be if they died so stupid? Right?
Look around.
This place is like a maze.
Elfie elves didn't want normal people near their precious well.
of Sorrows.
Andraste, guide us.
How has such magic lasted?
You tough bastards. A day's march, hours of fighting, and still fierce as dragons. The Chantry never knew what it was throwing away.
Samson, sir, watch out!
Inquisitor, you've got a damn long reach. We come to the back end of nowhere, and here you are.
You and your Red Templars weren't my concern. Not until now.
You keep getting in over your head, don't you? Corypheus chose me twice. First as his general, now as the vessel for the Well of Sorrows. You know what's inside the well? Wisdom. The kind of wisdom that can scour a world. I give it to Corypheus, and he can walk into the Fade without your precious anchor.
What's your part in it? What's a vessel?
What else empties a well? I'll carry its power to Corypheus. One more task entrusted to me. Being force-fed Chantry lyrium was good for something. This armor makes me a living fortress, mind and body. I won't forget a word of the well's knowledge. Corypheus will be unstoppable.
Once Corypheus is that powerful, you and your soldiers will just slow him down.
Is that the best you could do? You're no match for Corypheus. Even if you drink from the well, you'll never master its wisdom as he could. This is the strength the Chantry tried to bind. But it's a new world now, with a new god. I will bring Corypheus the well's power and your head, all at once. To arms! Nowhere to hide! can't take it from Corypheus. You mustn't.
He's still breathing.
We can take him back to Skyhold for judgment.
Abelard!
You heard his parting words, Inquisitor. The elf seeks to destroy the Well of Sorrows.
So the sanctum is despoiled at last.
You would have destroyed the well yourself, given the chance.
To keep it from your grasping fingers. Better it be lost than bestowed upon the undeserving.
Fool. You'd let your people's legacy rot in the shadows.
Samson thought the well's knowledge was valuable. It could help stop Corypheus.
I care nothing for your petty conflicts, Shemlin.
You'll care when Corypheus arrives for the well.
The well clearly offers power, Inquisitor. If that power can be turned against Corypheus, can you afford not to use it?
Do you even know what you ask? As each servant of Mythal reached the end of their years, they would pass their knowledge on through this. All that we were, all that we knew, it would be lost forever.
This can't be easy, holding on to what's left.
You cannot imagine. Each time we awaken, it slips further from our grasp.
Why remain? Why perform a duty without purpose?
Our duty is all that remains. Those who drank from the Virabella San paid a great price, bound to the service of Mythal for eternity.
You claim Mythal was truly a god.
To you, it shall make no difference.
You have done, backed into a corner.
And what if the well was destroyed? Or this entire temple? Are you so eager to die for sympathy's sake?
I'm glad you had the presence of mind to stop him.
He was a slave to duty, when he could have been so much more. You'll note the intact Illuvian. I was correct on that count, at least.
Is it still a threat? Can Corypheus use it to travel the Fade?
You recall when I took you through my Illuvian, I said each required a key? The well is the key. Take its power, and Mythal's last Illuvian will be no more use to Corypheus than glass. I did not expect the well to feel so hungry.
Let's not be reckless. I don't want anyone hurt.
I am willing to pay the price the well demands. I am also the best suited to use its knowledge in your service.
I do not like this. She is far too eager.
I do not hide it. To restore lost knowledge, I would risk much.
And what would you do with it? You could be worse than Corypheus.
So, paralyze yourself for fear of what might be? I can give nothing but my word. Of those present, I alone have the training to make use of this. Let me drink, Inquisitor.
You're not concerned about the price. Bound forever to the will of Mythal.
Bound to the will of a dead god? It seems an empty warning. Perhaps a compulsion yet remains. Who can say otherwise? I do not fear it, even so.
Are you sure you want this, Morrigan? We don't know what will happen.
We do not, and yet it must be done. I am ready.
Thoughts?
It all seems ghoulish. Let Morrigan use it, if she wants it so much.
If it is truly between you and her, then let her take the risk. Make her help us all.
It's called the Well of Sorrows. Sorrows? No one should go in the Well of Sorrows.
Enough deliberation. Give me your decision.
It's yours. Morrigan? Are you all right?
Elasin Salah. Visanala. I am intact. There is much to sift through. But now we can... The Illuvian! It is done.
I'm pleased to report we won the battle, Inquisitor. When you went through that mirror, Corypheus and his archdemon fled the field. I'm not sure why.
What he wanted was no longer within the temple.
Perhaps. He spent so long trying to get into the temple, he probably couldn't have helped his forces by that point.
Then Corypheus is finished.
If he is wise, he will hide and rebuild his strength before he attacks again.
He will not hide.
Meaning he will attack us directly. It's Skyhold.
Not necessarily. But neither will he remain idle.
And how could you have such insight into his plans?
The Well of Sorrows held many voices, and they speak to me now from across the ages. They hold wisdom, secrets I never dreamed possible. But even they fear what Corypheus has become.
Should we fear him more than his army?
Possibly. Luckily for you, he has a weakness. The dragon he calls is not truly an archdemon. It is a dragon in which Corypheus has infested part of his being. He doubtless did so out of pride to emulate the gods of old. That pride can be exploited. Kill the dragon, and his ability to leap into other bodies is disrupted. He can be slain.
You're sure? If there are no bodies for him to jump to...
You assume there is a limit to the range of his power. There is not.
Then what do you propose? Killing the dragon is no simple task, if it could even be found.
There is a way to defeat the dragon, to match Corypheus in his power. The well whispers it to me now. Your help will be required, Inquisitor. Speak to me when you are ready, and we shall begin.
I'll see to Skyhold's defenses in the meantime.
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor. Any word?
Nothing yet.
Inquisitor? come swiftly, this moment that will be spoken of for ages. The day the Herald of Andraste challenged the Darkspawn that thought itself a god. Defeat him, and you'll be more than a holy man to the people. You'll enter legend.
I couldn't have come this far without the Inquisition at my back.
And there is the modesty people respect. People joined the Inquisition after hearing you were blessed, but they've stayed because of how you lead. I wanted to tell you that I share their sentiments, Inquisitor, and... well, I suppose I just did.
You've always been there for us, Josephine. And for me.
It means much to hear you say that. Farewell, my lord. When you face Corypheus, may you walk in the light.
Mayor Gregory Dedrick of Crestwood is present for betraying his own constituents. He confesses that, 10 years ago, he flooded Old Crestwood to kill refugees and villagers touched by the Blight. The mayor claims it was to spare the rest of Crestwood, but we only have his word.
If the mayor has anything to say in his defense, let him speak.
There's no cure for the Blight. But I couldn't convince anyone to leave a sick child or husband behind.
So you herded the infected into one place and flooded Old Crestwood. Were no innocents caught in the waters?
Nearly everyone in the village had the Blight. I swear it. Have mercy. I couldn't tell the survivors I'd drowned their own families to save them. I couldn't.
You lied for 10 years about your crime, then fled after confessing your guilt. For avoiding justice, you are exiled from Ferelden. I doubt the Crown will disagree.
I knew your coming meant the end, one way or another.
Better and better. What can't we do in a place like this?
You were there. I have to know what it was like. The colors, the smells, the magic. I'm sorry, it's just so exciting. You went into the Fade. If you have time, Inquisitor, do tell.
You seemed excited that I fell into the faded adamant.
Excited? Spring gets me excited. This is a wonder. It's probably hard to relate, but dwarves don't dream. So I can't even guess what it's like. I can't even understand what dreams are. But you were there. And came back. Can I take a sample?
A sample?
Oh, that sounded sinister. I meant, can I cut a little piece off of you and do things to it? That didn't sound better, did it?
You'll have a full report of everything I saw. Will that do?
It's a start. I'm sorry, it's just... this is exciting. It all is. Your people cleaned you up after your fall. I wonder if anything is left. So much to think about. The Temple of Mythal sounds like the most interesting place. I hope you brought back samples of... well, anything.
I'll see you later, Dagna.
I can't wait.
This is where a smith should be.
Is this a bad time? I can come back.
No, it's all right. Bills are really not that engrossing. I've been meaning to come talk to you anyhow. I never officially joined the Inquisition. I don't know how to do this disciplehood thing. I'm a businessman. Never really followed a chosen one before.
I don't even know how to deal with all this. Just make something up. It'll be fine.
Oh, so we're saving the world through bullshit now? All right, I can manage that. You just don't know what you are to the people out there. The Herald of Andraste is a symbol bigger than any of us.
There's no way I can be bigger than myself, Varric.
Sure you can. You don't see yourself like they do. The sky tears open, demons everywhere. To ordinary folks, these are the end times. The only hope they have is you. Maybe you don't think that's a sign of some higher power looking out for the world, but they do. You heard the crowd singing after Haven was attacked.
Whatever I am to Thaddeus, I'm still just an ordinary person.
So, just a regular person, like anybody else. Right. I should probably get back to work. Unless, you up for a game of Wicked Grace? So, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this. We went to an elven rune, so a witch could consume a pool of magical goo and then walk through a mirror, and wound up back here. Have I mentioned that the shit that happens to you is crazy? I don't want to think about this anymore. You want to discuss something normal?
I've read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
Carry on.
Another completed work of whatever they used to call it.
Will you be coming to the reading? After what happened, I just assumed.
Inquisitor.
We'll make good use of it.
I'm sorry. Oh wait, no, I'm not. It's just the funniest, isn't it? That creaky old Abelas in Mythal saying the elves weren't destroyed by Tevinter.
An admission that did not come easy.
Of course it didn't, because that's elfy elves thing, being the sore losers of history. I never hear the end of it. Like being sad makes them better than me. Turns out they're not victims. They're the same as everyone else. Arseholes. Plus, a big old temple full of demon-worshipping lies. Grand, that.
You seem pretty certain. You don't believe anything from Mythal.
Course not. What, I should believe all that stuff? Because elves? I mean, it was impressive and all. Makes the Dalish look like tits for living in the woods, but so what? There can't be a bunch of gods and the Maker. Don't matter how much or little you believe, those don't fit. So call me stupid, but I believe the stuff not made up by dead people who failed. Mythal is a ruin full of demons. I mean, it just makes sense, right?
There's so much history there. What if some of it is true?
No, now you're stupid. You can't think that because it's stupid.
But everything we saw...
Why believe it? Because Abelas looked weird? If that's all it takes, Cariffi's shitheel is full of lumpy truth. You're not even an elf. Why are you being so damned elfy? You're the frigging herald of Andraste. Every time you open your mouth, you'll sound like an idiot.
People need to understand what this could mean.
No, they don't. 1,000 miles away, all they'll hear is you won. They won't care what you mutter to yourself. And neither do I. So there you go.
Good day.
May God be with you.
Sir Lordy Bloomers.
You apparently have a lot of friends. Tell me about your network.
It's not mine. Go on.
I was hoping we could speak privately.
Are we not?
Right. Of course we are. The flirting. With me. I've noticed it. Unless it is my imagination, which is entirely possible.
No, it's not your imagination.
You cannot court me if that's your intention. It's impossible.
Did you just say I can't court you?
Yes. What of it?
It's just a bit formal.
And that is a bad thing? I cannot be properly courted.
Is that what you want?
No. I take it back. That is what I want. I want a man who sweeps me off my feet, who gives me flowers and reads me poetry by candlelight. I want the ideal. You are the Inquisitor and the Herald of Andraste. You cannot be that man.
I can be that man, Cassandra.
The world hinges on our actions. We face death at every turn, Inquisitor.
That doesn't change how I feel.
It changes everything.
Magnificent. Oh, suddenly it all makes sense. I now understand the nuance behind elven words. The ancient lore reveals patterns I would never have suspected. It is exhilarating, the rush of images, truth dangling just out of reach.
Tell me more.
Take the Illuvians. It was always assumed their use was lost after the Tevinter conquest of Arlathan. But the ancient elves had closed all paths to the crossroads long before. They warred with themselves, and the Illuvians were sealed to prevent an enemy from using them to attack. So much is misunderstood. It would take years to absorb, if I get the chance.
I'm pleased I could give you that at least.
And pleased I am to have the chance, believe me. None of which has anything to do with why I asked you here, of course. Earlier, I said there was a way to match the power of Corypheus, Inquisitor, and there is. We must summon Mythal.
Didn't you say that Mythal was long dead? Or a myth?
Whatever Mythal was, goddess, myth, or ancient being, the voices of the well say a part of her power lingers on. How, or in what form, I cannot say, but that power is exactly what we need. I must go to an altar in the wilderness to perform the summoning, and you must be with me.
Will the summoning be dangerous?
The altar could have a guardian or other surprises. Thus, your company would be best. Imagine what we will learn, Inquisitor. Some would give their lives to unearth secrets such as this. The altar awaits our visit, Inquisitor. Everything I have done since leaving Ferelden has led me to this. Think of all we will learn.
I'll leave you to the garden.
Of course.
To work?
Let us begin. Has either of you noticed the change in Morrigan? I fear for her.
Fear for her, rather than fearing what she will do. You do care.
I would have concern for anyone who came into contact with that thing.
Winter Palace assaulted. Duchess Florian disgraced.
A shock, I agree.
A shock. This is devastating.
I was numbed by the tearing of the sky.
What is this now?
The findings in the heretical temple have caused you harm.
The divine force. Oh. Yes, thank you.
By the Maker, it's the Inquisitor himself. Would you care for a bouquet of flowers, Your Worship? The roses have been exceptional this season.
I was looking for some flowers, in fact.
Indeed. For what occasion, if I may ask?
For a lady friend.
Oh, no, simple wildflowers for you then. I have just the thing. I'll send them to Skyhold, in fact. Rare beauties your lady will adore.
Let's look around.
What do you mean?
Completely gone.
I heard, child.
Have you heard?
The Inquisition dealt with the rebel Templars.
They've been driven away.
It's going to go away if we don't talk about it, Mother. If I'm a mage, I have to
No
learn how to
man
defend
needs
myself.
statues so great as those whose remnants lie toppled in these hills.
These statues come from ancient dreams of blood and bone, lost to the memory of man. Be wary of them.
Tell me about your people.
They say a spirit dwells in a small lake south of the highway. The girls of the village bring it daisies and ask for love, but rarely does it listen. For 'tis a spirit of valor, not love, and it favors blood lotus flowers.
I hear most of the apostates are dead or hiding.
Ah,
We should be getting more refugees soon.
For the first time in all these years, I fear I will not be visiting your ashes. What world is this? That demons and brigands stop a man from taking flowers to his wife's shrine.
What if I took flowers to your wife's shrine for you?
I do not know what to say, except thank you. I never expected anyone not of the blood to care. My Senna would be grateful. Her shrine lies on a hill to the west, near the table stones. Thank you.
Stay safe.
Walk in peace.
Maybe the rumors about the apostates attacking people.
My mage used to join the Inquisition. Please, son, say nothing. Let the dreams just be dreams.
Perhaps you're right, dear. You should go to Denerim.
Me? Make me with you. What about us?
Of course. I will stay.
Is there something you need?
Blessings upon the Inquisition.
Supplies, your worship?
Well, let me know if you find one.
I have bag packed and waiting for you. Make your way around town and say your goodbyes. Travel child. I promise. Greetings, traveler. Greetings, traveler.
Thank you. Thank you. Good day. Good day.
Please, are you with the Inquisition? As you've wandered, have you by any chance seen a ram that is, different? Lord Wolseley wandered off, and he's very special. If you could find him, I'd be most grateful.
What makes your ram so special?
Well, he's always brought the family luck, and his advice helped us make our fortune.
Your ram offered advice.
He's a very special ram.
Your ram has gone missing.
Yes, I'm certain that if he heard his Jimmy missed him, he'd come right back. He's likely at our family's old summer cabin. It's by the lake in the southern hills. If you do find him and send him back, I'd be happy to pay you.
I'll speak with you later.
If you find my ram, please send him home.
Good day.
Merchants coming in now say there are countless bodies lying butchered on the side of the road. If not for the Inquisition, it would have been even worse.
Ah, you must be the surfacer they call the Inquisitor. That right? Wish I could sell you some books. Wish I could sell anyone some books. Sod it all.
So what happened exactly?
Surfacers happened. It took all my coin for bribes just to find out the damn Templars ambushed my wagon before it got here. Thought I was bringing supplies to the robes. So it's out there, but who knows where.
Any books of poetry in your wagon?
Sure. Mages love that stuff. Fat lot of good it does me now.
Bits up, face down.
Victory in the Arbor Wilds. The archdemon might have been a real threat to our army, but it flew off once we turned the tide. It is still out there, however. I wonder what Corypheus plans now.
We'll deal with whatever he throws at us.
Do not underestimate Corypheus. He is powerful, and you have yet to fight him one-on-one. But he will come. You will get your chance.
You don't seem concerned about that.
I am terrified, yet I have faith in you. Not long ago, this was impossible to imagine. You, a valued friend, victory close at hand. The time has come to consider what will come next.
You will be the next divine, I assume.
That has not happened yet.
But it may.
If the Maker wills it, then yes, I will answer his call. Blessed are they who stand before the corrupt and the wicked and do not falter. You have come far, my friend. It has been an honor.
whole temple. I told you, elves.
There you are. Something.
That's fast then? No.
Yes, that is fast. It concerns shipments for the next several weeks.
You're welcome, you know. You've always been welcome.
Planning troop movements now?
I'm trying to imagine what it will look like when we're done. All of this once belonged to the Tevinter Imperium. Andraste changed that, as did the Blights. As for what will come next, I cannot guess the Maker's plan.
We make the world a better place.
Because everyone agrees on what better means. I know I want a world where people trust the Chantry and that trust is respected. I want to respect tradition, but not fear change. I want to right past wrongs, but not avenge them. And I have no idea if my wanting these things makes any of them right.
Even if they're not right, they're certainly admirable.
Some would disagree. They would call it heresy.
That didn't sound like the ravings of a heretic, Cassandra.
Perhaps not. But it takes precious little effort to paint even an act of compassion as damaging. Tell me, what guides you? You make decisions that shake the world, yet always seem so assured. I wish I had your confidence.
If I'm guided by anything, it's you.
Oh, excellent. The blind leading the blind.
I don't think you're blind.
You're persistent.
I thought you liked my confidence.
When we first met, if someone told me I would be pleased to have you lead me, I would have throttled them. But I am. The Maker chose well.
I appreciate that.
We still have a long road to travel, Inquisitor. Wherever it takes us, I'm glad you're here. I cannot stop thinking of our earlier discussion. You don't actually intend to go through with courting me, do you?
I said I would, and I will.
I believe you. Yet,
You don't sound like you believe me.
it wasn't a challenge, my lord. You needn't do it simply because I suggested you could not.
I happen to like a challenge.
You enjoy making things complicated, don't you?
I'd like to speak with you. In private.
Oh? How private?
There's a grove just outside of Skyhold. Meet me there.
If you're certain.
I am. Trust me. On aching branch do blossoms grow. the wind a hallowed breath. It carries the scent of honeysuckle, sweet as the lover's kiss. It brings the promise of more tomorrows, of sighs and whispered bliss.
You can't be serious.
I can, and I am.
And that is the poem you chose?
Oh, so the list is more detailed than I thought.
Carmenum the Amatus. I thought this one was banned. His lips on mine speak words not voiced, a prayer, which travels down my spine like flames that shatter night. His eyes reflect the heaven stars, the Maker's light. My body opens, filled and blessed, my spirit there.
Not merely housed in flesh, but brought to life. Shall we read another?
They will say one of two things about me. That I stood at the Inquisitor's side, his protector and his lover. That it was meant to be. Or they will say I was led from the path of faith by the wiles of a madman.
I don't care what they say. What do you believe?
I believe you are a man who does not share my faith. I believe you are part of the Maker's plan. Beyond that, I believe only that you are capable of anything. And it frightens me. I have never known anything like it. I've been with only one other man in my life. A mage, with whom I adventured when I was still very young. He died at the Conclave. I will not let Corypheus win. I will not let him take you from me.